What's up, MillennZial Mama? What are we doing tonight, lady?
Pretty good.
It's good tonight. Yeah.
Lex had an eventful night, right?
No, my kid right before here, sit in the tub, pull the plant off of the shelf. I feel like this happens to so many people. Like, it's like, how many things can happen to you in one day?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Really. Oh my God.
I know you guys, I mean, didn't Miles have an ear infection or what happened with
Turns out he
that?
doesn't have an ear infection, but I did leave work early to go bring him to the doctors because I thought maybe he had an ear infection, but he's had a cold now for 7 days. So if you guys have any remedies, I just give my kids elderberry. Do you? I know, but can I give it to him under 1 year old?
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you ever try like eucalyptus oil, like the roller ball on the bottom of their sheet?
Yeah, I
back
have.
of their neck.
I do have
That
that.
actually really helps.
I tried like when he was really, really stuffy, but now it's like we're on the tail end. So I'm hoping he gets better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really give my kids much unless like they have a fever. And that's when I intervene.
Like the Genexa brand.
Yeah.
Have you guys? Kendra, you got me onto that.
Yeah.
That's what I use for Miles. Do you do that too, Mia?
Yep. Yeah. They're just like not like obviously it's still medication. I'm not against like medication, but it's just like all the junk that they were putting in a lot of them. That's what I wanted to avoid.
Right.
So the dyes and all of that. Yeah, that's what we used to.
It's amazing. We decided not to do a hot take. Our hot take is kind of like all of us because everybody has been talking about this. And if you don't know what we're talking about, then you listen to a rock. But we'll inform you on this episode. So Kendra couldn't join us, but she's going to post something on our Instagram, like on her take about how she lost or if she lost the baby weight from her babies, her 3 pregnancies, and what supplements she takes, and if it was difficult or, we kind of shared a little bit about what we did last time. So look for those posts. Yeah. The hot take is what everybody is like talking about with the Kellogg's brand drama. So yeah. Kendra, I know you guys are a big cereal family.
We are. We love cereal. And like we obviously try to get like the healthier options, but even like the ones that you're thinking are healthy are not anymore. And it's coming out and it's like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Mia, because I know Miles has a milk allergy or potential. So what do you guys do?
Yeah, we don't do any cereal. I mean, AJ would love cereal, but we don't buy it just because at BJ's, they don't have like, if I were to go to get a cereal or like a healthier cereal, I go for like Cascadian Farms, I think it's called. Even that, I think like isn't even.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I could get that at Costco, but as we've talked about, I don't like Costco, so I don't get cereal really. So we're not a cereal family. Yeah. Yeah, no, we are. My daughter, every morning, if I let her, like if I didn't try to like mix in eggs and like other things in there, cereal. Every morning. Wakes up. We had cereal. I'm like, it's like not my thing. Like, I mean, I'll once in a while, but like she loves it. So I'm going to struggle through this whole debacle now.
I mean, in case people don't know, there was this old worker. I think he was like a CEO or something. He was a really high up in the company. And he kind of was a whistleblower about how much shit they add to cereal. Oh, no, excuse me, to their products in general, not just cereal, but to their products that have been linked and related to cancer. And the fact that they know this, but they continue to still produce the same shit. It's like, I don't know. I was really angered about it, but like at the same time, I'm not buying cereal. I just consumed it forever. You know what I mean?
I think the thing about this though is that like, yes, this is happening with the cereal, but this is happening to a lot of foods.
Yes.
Regardless of just like this debacle. And I think this is just like the starting point to other things coming out.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there's so much junk and artificial stuff in our food now.
When I was in nutrition school, so when I met Lex, I was in nutrition school and I was like really big on nutrition. And it's right. I still am very passionate about it. But there are so many things that are class 1 carcinogens that people actually don't know. And they're like
probably in the same room, like everyone that's listening in your room, there's probably something that's a class 1 carcinogen. And they're so crazy. Like the things we put on our face, the shampoo that we put in our hair, like deli meat deli meat is considered just as bad as smoking cigarettes, which I think is so crazy. Like it's wild. And I feel like you can't be naive. You have to, especially when you have children, because there are so many things that you could just start now and not give them. Or, I mean, this could be like, I could flip back and forth on talking about this because I don't want to be, they call it like the cupcake mom, where you're like, you only can have a cupcake at a party, but then like they go to a party and your mom's not there. They're like eating 15 cupcakes. Like I still want him to know what deli meat is. I still want him to, I don't want to like exit out, but there's so many,
not like totally sheltered, but like
or
limited.
Just educating.
Yes.
Yeah. From a young age.
Well, like that's the thing is like all of the dyes. I mean, obviously everybody knows about the dyes at this point, but let's be clear, like red dye, what is it? Red dye 40, blue dye 40, or whatever it is. The blue and the red dyes.
40, yellow 5, right?
Yellow 6 or something. All of those things, they are things that are contributing to children being hyper. There's potential risk for autism. And like, how are people, but you also see what sugar does to kids.
But people deny this. People don't think they don't think that they're linked, and they continue to give them. So then the food industry is never going to change because people are still buying them, regardless of the information that's coming out. And to say that I'd never give my kids things with dye in it would be a lie. I know I'm a lot less crunchy than you guys, but I definitely do try to buy even the Target brand Good and Gather.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people love, I get a lot of their snacks, a lot of their foods, and just in general, they don't have a lot of preservatives and dyes and stuff like that. So I do that, but I'm not necessarily organic.
Yeah.
But their Good and Gather brand is, there are organic portions of that. And I'm telling you, it is very affordable for somebody that's looking to kind of get into it a little bit.
Yes.
They have great ingredients in some of their things that is a good substitution, or we're going to talk about it later about how to kind of go into, if you're interested in becoming scrunchy into crunchy,
But I do have something to say about this before we get off the red dye. Do you guys remember millennial? I consider myself, I'm just saying, the dip that we would get at Dairy Queen, the red dip you would get on your cone.
You know that's still
they took it away for a
right?
little, and they just brought it back. I think they were trying to make it seem like it was a better for you, because a lot of people were saying that it was making their children really hyper and that it was linked to autism. There was all article. And my mom used to say, oh, Mia and Chloe can't have that because they'll bounce off the walls all night. My mom's like, it makes them so hyper. But at that time, she was like, oh, sugar, sugar, sugar. Until later, as it comes out, my mom's like, oh, that makes sense. Red dye, whatever. It's
so wild.
For sure.
And it's not just the dyes that we're talking about with the whole, it's the cancer-causing ingredients that they're knowingly putting in.
Yes. Yeah. So, my problem with this whole
Being
thing
boycotted
is, and that's why I do appreciate a lot of these celebrities speaking up, and you really should boycott them, because it's genuinely, it's going to be the most effective. If they see that people, like you guys said, if you see that your cereal is still doing really well, they don't care. They know, but they're not going to do anything about
and they're
it.
still buying it.
So
I think it's not that moms don't, or people buying it don't care. I think it's just easier, or they know that the kids will eat them, and sometimes they're just okay, here.
And I also think it's less of saying that the company isn't gonna keep producing or something the company's always gonna produce. They're making money. It's always gonna be this money, money, money. That's what this world runs on. It's the matter of how people could bring, like you said, celebrities are saying, oh, this is bad for you. Oh, this and that. It's more spreading the word, but it's never gonna not be there. It's always gonna be they make too much money.
But see, that's my problem also, is now they're comparing the side-by-side cereals of the Canadian Kellogg's factories and the US ones. And it's okay, so if these are still FDA regulated, how are these things going under the radar? how are you approving that this is okay? But like in Canada, they're using blueberry concentrate for their blue in their cereals rather than us using freaking blue dye.
Like,
when we
why
know
isn't that happening? Why isn't that
I don't
happening?
know.
That's the question.
Like,
why aren't these
that is
companies, why wouldn't they
wild.
rather, okay, well, I could go down a rabbit hole for this, honestly, but like they're being paid, like, you know what I mean? Like healthy people are cheaper. They can't make money off of healthy people. So it's like a whole system.
That's also a thing. Like, we should definitely post. It's not just, people would be surprised at what Kellogg's produces in their factories.
There's tons of
like, it's not just
one of the ingredients.
Oh my
it starts
gosh.
with a P. I can't pronounce it correctly. It's like PH something, and it's actual. If you look it up, it's pencil shavings in certain cereals.
Yeah, we should post that.
Yeah, I'll look
look it up and like post it on the story. Yeah,
Interesting.
But no,
like,
like,
we
I
should,
think
like-
I know what you're saying. Kellogg's is like a really big brand. Like they're an umbrella
Yes.
company that owns a lot, right? Like
Yes, like
Yes.
Pepsi products, they own Dasani water. Like, they own like a lot of
it's
other
so-
different
yes.
sectors.
I
So,
saw this
like-
one picture that it was like 6 brands own almost
Yeah.
every brand
Yes,
in the
but, like,
U.S.
you think
It's
about
like,
it, it's not just cereal. Like Kashi,
no, it's not.
like
Every
things
yogurt.
that are like, so the
Prada.
Kashi make bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they make like a ton of shit. So it's like, you really need to be looking at the thing. Like, and we're going to talk
It's
later about
scary.
little things that you can do to kind of rule out and to get rid of unnecessary
Minimize.
things that you're buying.
And just from like nutritionist me, I always tell people this is when I read the back of a label, it's especially for my son, is if I can't pronounce something, I don't buy it. And or if it has, so if within this is a fun fact, if one of the first 3 ingredients says sugar, cane sugar, any sort of sugar, fructose, sucralose, it is considered a dessert. So like having that for breakfast or having it for lunch or like a snack, it's a dessert. It's driving childhood obesity.
That's
It's
a good
bad
rule.
for, everything. So I always say, I like to do like 5 or less ingredients. Obviously some things are more, but if I can't pronounce something, I don't feed it. We don't consume it, or I don't give it to my
Right.
son. Do you think it's gonna stay that way when your son gets a
No.
little older? Because he is,
Yeah,
I'm sure he's
still-
gonna like want, that's how I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna navigate that. Because obviously,
Mhm.
he's gonna want Doritos, and like I'm not saying me and Asia don't do that. If we're on vacation, like we're picking the purple bag of Doritos. I mean, like that's like our favorite thing. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be around that thing.
Purple bag.
The purple bag is the best. It's like
What is the
sweet
pur-
chili.
I don't know that.
It's so
Oh,
good.
I've had it. Yeah,
Ugh,
it's very
God,
good.
it
No,
sounds
it's
terrible.
So good.
No, it's good.
But I'm still trying to figure out how to
Okay.
navigate that part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, you want a comparable brand. I know, whatever. This is not off the tangent. If you want a comparable Doritos brand without the crap in it, late
Oh my God,
July.
I love it. I love it. They're
That-
natural.
the
taste
Garden
like-
Ranch ones
does.
taste like Doritos.
It does.
Never
Keep-
had it.
like,
Never even
keep
heard
it
of
on
it.
your radar. Okay, and they're nacho cheese ones. They're
Really good.
literally like a cheesy Dorito. I swear to God.
Is this a
swear to
Whole
God.
Food thing?
Yeah. You
Or
can
is
get
this
them at
You can
Target?
find that
Target.
Target, yeah.
You
Okay.
could get them at I don't know about Walmart, but like I would assume so.
Yeah.
But
My
I
guilty
mean-
pleasure snack is Cheez-Its.
yeah.
Yeah. But also Siete chips. Do
Yeah,
you guys
but-
like the Siete like chips? But
Yeah.
Siete just
Yeah,
freaking
they're
got
okay.
bought
Yeah, I
by,
do.
I forget who.
I just sent
Yeah,
you
who did
this.
it get bought by? I sent it to my mom. My mom's like really upset about it 'cause she buys it like in bulk.
I cannot remember. It was like Pepsi or like something large
Yeah,
like
and they're
that.
gonna run it.
It was
Mm,
kind of a
yeah.
sellout. Yeah,
I think a lot of
highly
brands do
recommend
that. They're like,
they do it
they need to
because
back
it's
them.
easier. They get bought out by $7 billion.
Mhm.
They're going to be like,
Yeah.
add the royalty
Yeah,
on there.
yeah.
Like, let's freaking go. That's what we
Yeah.
worked for. But just a fun fact about processed food is like processed food, the way that it started, I don't know if you guys know this, but like it started back in like when like the world wars were going on because moms were at home with their children and they wanted a different way to make food and dinner easier. So they started with like canned food. That's how they like the Jolly Green Giant. Like that's one of the big things. Baked beans, canned vegetables. So it was easier that mom could spend more time with the kids and less time, over the stove, whatever. So that began that craze. And then McDonald's, Nathan's Hot Dogs, like all of those places, they started doing that. But like probably the difference is in back then and even probably to the 80s, they didn't add preservatives like they do now. Like I'm not saying that we didn't get them in our food for eating Captain Crunch because that's what my parents would allow sometimes. And like, there's no fault, but that's just how it was. So it just kind of got taken away. It's like, all right, if you're going to do something processed, like, why is it that we have to beg for these like shitty things to be out of there?
And
you know,
it's like my like main drive that it makes me itch is when people say, oh, well, when you were little, you ate that. So if you're, like for example, I'm like, oh,
No.
McDonald's. Okay. And people are like, oh, well, when you were little, you had that and you turned out fine. Yes. But when that was 25 years ago, 25 years ago, McDonald's made chicken nuggets with beef tallow. Now it doesn't do that anymore. It's not a natural ingredient. Not even that's a natural ingredient, but it's not. It's all processed. They completely took that out to mass produce all these freaking chicken nuggets everywhere. And it's like, no, it wasn't the same. Or, oh, when you were little, you ate Gerber and you turned out fine. Okay, well, Gerber 25 years ago was not what Gerber is now. So it's just,
yes, 100%. And like that is such a good point because I mean, I've been in chiropractic offices where they show the burger looks completely fine. Like they do that McDonald's challenge with the fries and the burger.
It's so gross.
It's been 20 years and there's not 1 ounce of mold on that. Guys,
no, it's so gross.
Come on,
even the bun. It's like even the bun
that's in your belly. Yeah, exactly.
Sandwiches now. Those someone wrote it on one of our notes that we had. The ice cream sandwiches that don't melt.
Oh yeah,
I saw that, but like I kind of find it really hard to believe because those shits used to melt all over my hands. I do agree with you, but we should do it and post it.
Yeah, we should because I've done it before. It's really disturbing because it's the carrageenan in it, and it's like almost like gum-like. So they make it so it's light and fluffy, but it melts to an extent. But I am telling you right now, if you put an organic ice cream sandwich next to it, that shit melts and you just have the 2 sandwiches. And the other thing still looks like the white ice cream is in the middle. It's
We'll make a video and put it out for everyone so we could show an organic and the one we used to eat when we were little.
Yeah. I'm about it. Actually, my grandmother used to home make her ice cream sandwiches. So like, shout out to my grandma because she knew, I mean, think about your grandparents. Like if you grew up or you had them around, like that's who we should be eating like. Seriously. Well, most of them. But like,
no, like if you ever follow like an older person around the grocery store, they literally go to the produce. They go to the like dairy, the meat, some cans. Yeah.
But like my grandma always did like fresh herbs. She always did like a meat and the pasta because of course, but like she made her pasta. Yeah. That's the thing. Like they knew some secret. Their longevity is there given like some factors. Yeah. Like if they worked with radiation or things like that, then
but making
those are other things, but like food
and making things like goes a long way in nutrition world too. Like making compared to getting it out to eat. So if you want mac and cheese, that's great. Like we could have it, but if you make it, it's substantially better than going. And I grew up in the restaurant business, but I'm just like, I'm not dogging the restaurant business, but I'm saying it's so much better for you to just make things at home. Is way less sodium, just better, all around better.
And sometimes it tastes better because you can cater it to the way you like things.
Yeah, that you actually want it.
But honestly,
so are you
going out to eat is a convenience.
Yes, agree. And it's more of a reliance now since COVID. Honestly, I feel like we have relied on like, oh, well, they can just bring it to my car now.
Yeah.
Like that shit is easily comparative to actually making like 20 ingredients of a pasta dish or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. But my husband and I just talked about this. You have to be careful because there are like those big fast food chain stores that are using things that have GMOs, which is what a huge take is now. And like, you're both familiar with it, but it's essentially GMO stands for, if you again live under a rock or you've never really cared until now, it's genetically modified organisms. So what they do is they create things that preserve your food for longer. So if you're wondering why an organic tomato comparative to a GMO tomato, it's because they spray things so pesticides or so pest and like the longevity of the food stays for longer. And like you think about what it's doing to the outside or the like preserving of that, like think about what that's doing internally. And so a lot of people, I think in the last 4 or 5 years, truly, like it has not been that long, but they started that non-GMO project, like that little label that you guys see on stuff.
There's a lot now that says non-GMO, thankfully.
Yeah, I know. We're begging people once again to not put shit in their food, but like
unnecessary shit. And I think it's because people have an overconsumption mind where they need things to last forever because they buy a million of things at once. And I think that is where this is stemming from, because if you buy 2 tomatoes, like you're good. Why do you need 15 in your house?
Yeah.
You don't.
Right.
And like then, that overconsumption has led to this, I think.
Okay. But like 90%, guys, 90% of corn, soy, and what's the other one? Corn, soy, and cotton in the United States is genetically modified.
I believe that's sad.
So that's like,
that's insane.
Again, pesticides on your damn foods, okay? Just because you're buying fruits and veggies, like they're not safe. That's the thing. Like they have a waxy film on them. That's why, back in the day, I always question, like, why do I have to wash this apple? You need to scrub that damn apple. Because especially if it's not organic, they really are. I mean, we're going to dive into the things that are like the dirty dozen of like things that you should just not buy that if they're not organic. Again, it is a rabbit hole. You guys know this. Yeah. It's like, where do you stop if you're
it overwhelms
going?
It's
overwhelming.
It is a very overwhelming.
Yeah, because it's like you have to do like Mia said before. Then you got to do your shampoo. Then you got to do your deodorant. Like, what about your toothpaste that you're consuming or your kids are swallowing?
That's a whole nother thing.
That's a lot.
Like I said, I try to go like dye free when I can, and like I tried to limit, not necessarily completely cut out. Like I'm more scrunchy than you guys, but with my like cleaning products and beauty products, I'm definitely I try to do very minimal chemicals.
And I feel like as long as people are aware, because there's so many people that just have their blinders on that are walking around with like, cleaning their floors with formaldehyde and like all of this, like these things that are just so bad for you, and you don't really either care for or know or aren't educated on. The like GMOs now have been like scientifically tested, showing that they're actually linked to allergies, cancer, and like a fun fact is like killing honeybees. Like they're just genetically modified foods. Because of all of the pesticides that they're putting on things, and like if they're naturally trying to pollinate like a honeybee, like that's why we're seeing this decline. For other reasons too, but like we're seeing a decline because these honeybees are getting infected with whatever they're having on the foods. Which
foods do you guys wash and which foods do you not wash, or do you wash everything?
I wash it all.
You wash everything?
I wash
There's
everything.
certain things like I won't wash. So I have read a book before just to have this second like look and peer. I always used to wash my things, but once I read this book, there's certain things like the Dirty Dozen I'm always washing, but there's things like tubular. So like carrots, I don't wash. I don't wash potatoes. I don't wash.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and it's the book is called Eat Dirt. And like, I would really consider like everyone should read it. It was a guy who actually cured cancer by doing this. And it was like, kind of building immunity to different dirts and like things that, I mean, especially if you're like heating it up in the oven, it's not going to like really do much to you. It's different than like an apple where you're eating it raw. But yeah, there's certain things that I don't clean.
That's interesting.
Well, I think with my carrots and potatoes, I usually peel them
I always
anyway.
eat the skin.
On stuff. So I guess like technically, washing it wouldn't really do anything because I do peel them. Carrots, I don't wash and I don't peel. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, don't peel. I eat the skin and I eat the dirt, like the dirt. That I would consider them dirty, but I eat the dirt. And then let's see, what else do I not wash? I definitely wash apples. Like the dirty dozen. I don't know actually.
Okay.
What are the dirty dozens? Like apple, celery.
Just explain what the Dirty Dozen is first. Mia, or
the Dirty Dozen is just like the dirtiest of our fruits and vegetables that either are really have a lot of pesticides or are waxed, like things like that. They're the 12 fruits and veggies that they say, yes, are the dirtiest and that you should be cleaning, or if you can, swapping and getting organic.
Yes, because they are the most likely to have genetically modified sprays on them. So if you're going to look for a place to start and you're like, oh man, it's so overwhelming to think about being organic or like, doing that for my family, look to this list. We will post it and just try to make these swaps first, because then you're making that slow, like, adjustment into there.
A lot of fruits that have like a harder outer shell that you don't eat, those are usually don't have to be organic. I know there's like a couple like that would confuse you, but like cantaloupes, watermelons, bananas, those things I don't think are on the dirty.
No, they're not. You can do you have it in front of you? You can list them if you want.
I have one in front of me
no,
that
that's okay.
is like a smaller list of the dirty dozen, but yeah, potatoes are on there. No, but like celery, tomatoes, pears, apples, strawberries, spinach is a dirty dozen, which is surprising. Peaches,
grapes and apples, like, because little kids, they love apples and they love grapes. But like, if you're gonna start somewhere, do that, because they can like GMO a grape and they do like a selective breeding, and literally they create these types of grapes and how they taste in the lab. So like, the larger the fruit is, the more, and it's not organic, the more sugar content and the more genetically modified it is. So like, people are like, oh, look at those really big apples. They look so good. And they're on the dirty dozen list. So if you're buying and that's the thing, like, you go apple picking with your family, but like, I'm annoying and I call the place and like, do you guys spray your apple? I want to know what I'm getting.
Do you?
I do. I know. I'm that bitch.
Okay, but there are some, don't like, this thing is confusing though, because there are some things that have to be sprayed regardless, and it's not necessarily like a GMO thing.
No, but it's the pesticide thing.
Like, it's not genetically modifying.
No, but it does though, in the sense, because it's coating it with those cancerous products that you're consuming. Like, again, it's not technically genetically modifying it in the lab, but when you're consuming it, it's going to genetically modify your internal process. Like, that's why they say illness starts from the gut. So like, whatever you're eating is what your entire body is going to feel like. Like, you feel like shit because you're eating McDonald's for every meal. Like, that's your body. Like, that's what your input output is going to be like. You know what I mean? Things that are all like more clean, where it's like, if you're not 100% organic, like Kendra was saying, harder shells. I don't know why sweet corn is on there, because they say that 90% of corn is genetically modified. So like, that's confusing to me. Yeah. But I've looked at many different sources and sweet corn is on there.
Like, physically dirty,
maybe. I don't know.
Because that wouldn't get
like
dirty
a shell over it.
And too is a lot of like people that like to grow their own fruits and veggies, which is great. But if you're not getting the correct seeds, you're still consuming genetically modified fruits and vegetables.
We're going to have a whole gardening like extravaganza, like, because I just started being crunchy. Yeah, no, it's so true, because like, you're consuming, you're like, oh, I'm going to grow something natural at my house.
A machine is being the seed in the bag.
Yeah.
And then you're planting it and you're growing something beautiful and then eating it, being like, oh, I grew this, but what made that? So a machine.
Exactly.
It's still better than, because Alexa's not spraying her, with pesticides and things like that, but more that like from the root of it, it's still considered GMO.
Maybe it was a modified, not natural thing, but it's still going to be better.
Yes. So like, avocados, pineapple, onions, eggplant, cauliflower, kiwi, cabbage, those are just some of them. But they say like again, less pesticides or less
you don't need to buy organic necessarily.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about how crunchy my family is. We kind of know, like, Mia and I are a little bit more on the same level. I'm a little psychotic about it. Kendra knows. She came out and visited me like last year, and everything in my house for food wise is organic. I would say I 90% of the time buy organic, and 10%, like my Starbucks nitros, I just can't kick them. It's like my one thing that I do daily that it's not organic, but you know what? It's my like my thing. So, but
like nobody's perfect.
Exactly. Right. And again, like if you're trying, even if you're at 75-25 of like more organic, like you're doing your body a favor, right? You're putting less chemicals, less shit in your body. It's just reality. Like, how much can you do? But like, did you guys see my notes about the purple and the blue ketchup?
Yeah.
Did you guys eat that as a kid?
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's slap.
In the 90s, we went through some wild, random, weird food things. Speaking of the blue, so this might get into the Gen Z portion. Do you guys remember that mouthwash where you would wash your mouth and it would stain the plaque that's still left on your teeth blue? Okay, it must have been a Gen Z thing. I'm gonna look it up, but it was a blue thing, and you would rinse, and then you'd go like this, and it would stick to the plaque. That's like you get enough. It was fucking cool. Blue dye, and we're like, good concept. Yeah, that's the only way it could dye. And then the kids are just paper in school. Yeah, if they could do that today in a more natural.
I mean, maybe we could create something. I don't know. That would be kind of cool.
It would be cool, right? We could do it with beet juice.
No, but like
beet juice really stained your shit.
I know. Forever. Oh my gosh. Wait, can I tell you a really, really quick story? Really quick. I love beets. I eat them all the time. All the time. I eat them raw. Mia, you know about this. I know you love
Are you telling the story about me? Because it happened on my way to you when I was in college.
Oh, I know your story. You thought you were dying because you were peeing red.
I was sitting red. In your bathroom.
Yeah.
In your freaking gut.
You're like, something's wrong.
I went to the doctor.
No, okay. Really quick. I was pregnant and I love beets. I cooked beets. I didn't have Jace yet. I was mowing my lawn and I was going inside and eating beets for a snack. And I was push mowing my lawn. And we were at a new house and my neighbor came over to say hi to me and greet me. And I was like, hi, blah, blah, whatever. He leaves. My husband comes home. He's like, what are you doing? And like, he comes right up to me. And he's like looking at me. I was like, what? He's like, you got beets all around, like red. You got like red all around, like you just fucking ate a dog or something. And I was like, oh my God, I just went up to this guy. And it was so embarrassing. And so now, every single time, I was talking about the spit thing, but every single time I eat something like chili or like beets, I'm always like, okay, making sure I don't have that like Kool-Aid mouth as like a little kid, but like sweet. It's very earthy. No,
but it's kind of sweet and good. Like
you have to try them raw.
Kind of exactly that.
Swish it around. It tastes like mix of dirt and celery.
Yes. It's really good for athletes.
Keep going. Oh, sorry. If you're looking for a really good detox, like you eat beets and it actually cleans out and it reproduces bile in your body. So like you're not supposed to eat beets more than 2 times a week. I don't know if you knew that,
that's for sure.
But you're not supposed to because it will flush you out and it makes you poop. So it's a really good natural detox. FYI, if you're looking for one, it's amazing.
I definitely didn't know that because I
didn't
know that. This is like a Dwight Schrute thing. Doesn't he sell beets?
Who?
Oh, neither of you guys watched The Office.
No.
And it's like in his family, and he's always talked about beets. And I thought this was like a joke that people eat fucking beets.
You never had them out of a can instead? Like your mom didn't like crack the beets open? Oh, no. My grandma boiled them and oil and vinegar and Italian seasoning. It is amazing. You need to try it. No, it's like a vinaigrette salad. It's really, really good. Kendra, I will make it for you one time. You'll love it.
Yeah, no, you probably won't because honestly, it's a distinct taste.
But the Whole Foods beet and pomegranate salad that they have.
I knew you were going to say that.
It slaps.
You used to be obsessed with that, Lex.
It slaps. Oh, dude. But it's regional. They don't make it here. So I have to make it myself.
I remember when you were obsessed
with it.
That's
fine. Okay. Mia, you go, like how is your family dynamic of like organic? Are you completely like me or are you more scrunchy or?
No, I'm in between crunchy and scrunchy. But I wouldn't, I don't know. AJ likes very specific foods. So he's not gonna, he's, just a guy. Okay, if I wasn't counting him and I weren't buying things for him that maybe sometimes I do consume too and eat because they're good. I would say I definitely shop like more organic. I was actually thinking I'm gonna make a reel this week, so everyone watch out for that. I'm gonna make a reel of like just me at BJ's, my favorite store, and like what I put in my cart and what I buy. Yeah, I love BJ's. And what I buy. So I'm going to do that this week. But I guess I'm more like crunchy. But we eat a lot of vegetables, like a lot of vegetables, and Miles does too. A lot of beans, a lot of just healthy. I like Primal Kitchen for my, certain like sauces and things like that. So I like BJ's, but I can't get like a certain amount of things there. So I have to go to other stores. But other than that.
Okay, one more thing. My whole family does this. I learned this from my parents. We actually find a local organic farmer and we get like whole cows. We get like
my mom
whole
wants
chickens.
to do that.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's more affordable than you think. Like a half of a cow, not kidding, a half of a cow was $700. But like you don't understand how much meat you actually get. Like I got 60 pounds.
Yes, crazy.
60 pounds of ground beef.
That's crazy.
And like chuck roast and like all these things. So you can just throw them. I mean, like we eat a lot of tacos in our house because it's the best way to be super organic and like
leave meat, everything.
Chips. Yeah. So like we honestly like that's a really good way to start like going. I mean, you don't have to buy like $12 a pound organic, whatever. Like there are ways around doing that.
Absolutely.
For sure. Kendra, I know your take, but go.
I'm kind of just in the middle of like crunchy and scrunchy. I'll have a mix of stuff in my house. If I didn't have Alec, that's why I say this because Alec is definitely a lot less crunchy than I am. He'll eat what I cook, but he's definitely a lot more, what we will say, like silky. If anyone doesn't know what these terms are, it pretty much just means you just buy whatever. You're silky. But like I'm probably somewhere in the middle because we still go out to eat. But like I said, all my cleaning products and bath products, they're all like vegan, like just, but I also don't eat meat. So that makes it a little bit harder for me.
Yeah, right.
To like
100%.
That's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Because they go through
phases. Miles is going through a big phase right now where it's marinara sauce on just about anything. Otherwise we won't eat anything.
Oh,
my daughter's is unfortunately.
Oh my God. So he's going through that.
Anything.
So I was like, oh, maybe it's just like the red. He is like attracted to the red. So I couldn't get him to eat eggs for the life of me. And I really wanted him to like eggs. And I put some ketchup on it. We're obsessed with eggs. So it's like red color, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Organic ketchup. If you got to do something. Organic ketchup.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. That's a very easy swap.
Yes. And it's not that expensive. It's like 40 cents more. Seriously. It's not that expensive.
Yeah, because if you guys
and like how much do you really use?
And honestly, you can see the
and
color if you go into your fridge right now and you look at the ketchup that you have. So everyone listening, go look at your fridge and check your ketchup and see if there is sugar or fructose. It's probably the high fructose corn syrup is probably the third ingredient and not organic ketchup. It's disgusting.
Just like some rule of thumb. Yeah. Just takeaways from what we said. It's a lot to digest. Like there's so many things. Again, we're probably going to circle back to a lot of different shit and like recommendations from us. But like, you don't have to follow us to be 90%. Yeah. Like I'm extreme because I have done so much research. It just kind of was built in. So I have been down this rabbit hole for about 8 years now. I would say solidly 8 years. So like, recommendations, the thumb rule. That's a super easy one. If you have little hands like me, it's harder to be you. Yeah. But like just taking your thumb, trying to put it over all of the ingredients on there. If most of the ingredients or all of the ingredients are covered up by your thumb, you should buy that over something that has a laundry list of just shit. Yeah. But something that is in a can and it has 3 ingredients, and then you're looking at something that is the exact same thing and it has like 12, obviously pick the one that has 3.
And like everything that we talked about, like take with a grain of salt. You don't have to like go throw out your shampoo and like your cleaners, things like that. But it's just being aware of things and use the Yuka app. Do you guys know what the Yuka app? I love the Yuka app. So it's an app.
It's
Everyone
amazing.
Look it up. It's YUKA, Yuka. And it's free. You just scan. So like when I'm in the store, if I like see something that I want to give Miles, I scan it. And it'll give you a score based on like out of 100. So if it's 40 out of 100, it's not good for you. And you could click why, and it tells you additives, what the additives do to you, what hormone it disrupts. So like I've scanned like a monster once, and it's like 0 out of 100, and it says 1 million health risks, and it will tell you like this can cause you to go blind. This like the million thing.
Yeah, that's a great app. That's a really good one. And like, if you are really curious, you should message us and ask us, more things. And if you do want to throw out your shampoos, like, good for you. You know what I mean? Like, just what is good for your family.
So like, we're not saying that you're gonna go from silky to crunchy overnight. Like, that's not anybody's journey, but it's like slow swap that you make.
Just make a swap to some organic brand, because Good and Gather organic cereals are actually really good. And also because I loved them when I was pregnant. And there's an organic, I think it's like called like cocoa, Chimp's Cocoa or something.
I don't even want to introduce like the sweet and the chocolatey cereals to my kids, because they just have like the very like basic like shredded wheat cereal, like the but they still love them. So I'm like, I don't even want to, even if it's like the good one, I don't want them to have that like option.
I mean, speaking of things, this is what my family is doing for Halloween. This is what I have done. I don't neglect or like keep my son from like eating sweets, right? I just either make them with organic ingredients, and that's what I do. Like, I will allow him to go trick-or-treating, but I'm not gonna lie, I switch out his candy for organic chocolate, like peanut butter cups and like Almond Joys with the organic. Like, I use the Unreal brand. So I just switch out his candy. I take the candy.
Wait, like, have you ever heard of the Switch Witch?
Yes, I do it.
It's also like not even just for like sugar, like organic. It's more or less like this Halloween thing. This Halloween thing freaks me out. And like, I'm not going to go on a tangent. It freaks me out because when, like, in what freaking world is it okay to go to someone's house one time a year and be like, here's something from my house that you can have and go home and eat? It's so weird to me. I think it's so weird. I will probably be doing something where it's like the switching thing where, we have something for you.
Yeah.
But obviously going trick-or-treating. But I probably won't be to the extent of giving him organic candy. I think it'll be like the one time where I'll be like, okay, you can have a Twix, you can have a Kit Kat. It's like special treat. But I think Halloween is so weird to me.
Yeah.
What I did for my daughter last year, which I'm probably going to do again, is I picked out 10 candies. And that doesn't mean she's eating them that night. It's just 10 candies that she's keeping that she can eat, like, and then the rest goes outside. And then the Switch Witch comes.
AKA your husband.
And it's not like she's not deprived.
What?
I said, AKA your husband. That's how it is in my house. I give him all the candy.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm probably just going to tell him to take it to work.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we should post about our trick-or-treating extravaganza. I know, Kendra, you don't like to show your children on social media. That's a whole thing we're going to talk about at one point. But just a couple of different, things that you did, we'll probably post. And make sure you guys like us and follow us. And do you guys want to talk about the giveaway?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Okay, so for the giveaway, we're giving away a supplement, right, Lex? And a Stanley Cups.
We're going to do my favorite probiotic.
Okay, so Lex's favorite probiotic and a Stanley Cup. And it's going to, what we're going to do is you obviously have to follow us.
Yeah.
So we'll post a giveaway post. You just have to follow us, like the post, tag someone in the comments, and you'll be entered in the giveaway, and we'll pick a winner.
Share it. Easy as that. And that beautiful, like, lovely giveaway can be yours. So we will be back next week. You guys have a wonderful evening, and thanks for following us, and make sure you like us and give us 5 stars on Spotify.
See you guys next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.